Hi, I'm Stefan. Welcome to Destination Retirement. And today I'm going to talk about how I got started in this video series. I think it's a nice story. So my father was a metallurgist. He graduated, I think, in 1951 and worked for a company for about 9 years. They went through some financial setbacks, had to go to another company. And at that time, your retirement was based on a pension and Social Security. So now, with these changes in jobs, he's not going to get a pension. He started worrying about this. And the financial services industry at the time was not well developed. There were mutual funds, but really very few people knew about them, and people tended not to talk about finances with each other. So we're a lot better on that now. Anyway, when I was a kid, I would hear him use an expression. He said he wished there was a portable pension. Now, he was an engineer, a metallurgist. He didn't know financial markets and what that would look like. He did not know about mutual funds. Otherwise, I think he would have been investing money in them. But he knew that there had to be something. And in the 70s, we came out, 70s, 80s, we came out with the 401ks and the thrift savings plan and government, individual retirement accounts, and mutual funds became, of course, more popular at that point. But these conversations that I had with my dad made me much more aware of retirement, so that even when I was in the military and the Coast Guard, I was aware that I would get a pension if I had stayed 20 years. And when I went into my job, and they told me about something called a thrift savings plan, which in federal service is very similar to the 401k, I immediately looked at that and I said, that's the portable pension my father was talking about. So I was very on to it. In 1997 is when I first had access to the internet. My computer at work was tied into the internet at that point. And I was able to get on the website for my retirement accounts and start tracking it. And so I was always thinking about this. And I started to think about, well, what do I like about my job? What don't I like about it? What do I want to do when I retire? And it became part of who I was too. Not that I was trying to get out of work so quick, but that I knew I had to build something up. Now, I'll talk about the meeting. I thought my interest in my plans for retirement and thinking about all the things was perfectly normal, and it is. We all think about what we want to do when we're going to retire and a little bit about what that will take. But I'd gone into a level of depth without realizing it that was uncommon. And the moment that I learned this fact was a meeting I had with my financial planner. Now, his dad has been my accountant for over 30 years. And when I started seeing Glenn, Chris's father, Chris was probably about 7 years old. And then I found out he's in financial services, and it just was a good match. So I had this breakfast meeting with him. It was his day off. He was dressed casual. It was awesome. I got to see him the way he really is. And it was supposed to be, an hour and a quarter breakfast meeting. We went 3 hours. Now, I was obviously learning from him about how we would handle, my situation in retirement financially and with taxes and such. But he was asking me a lot of questions, and he was taking notes on the things that I was talking about, which I thought was kind of rather strange. He had many clients. Why would I be so different? It turned out that I was. So what I talked to Chris about was, it was everything from my plans for retirement, that I'm interested in woodworking and metalsmithing, and I had some unique projects to work on. I had some ideas for high school education in manual arts, and maybe how we could get more kids involved in manual arts, which is really important. As an engineer, I see a lot of kids coming into engineering that don't have that background, and I think it hurts them. We talked about plans where I might continue working after retirement, and about colleagues that I hope to continue working with. And a lot of it was just about a philosophy about what retirement is. And what I found out was that most of his clients, while they were looking forward to retirement, were also very apprehensive, and it was especially with the financial part and what they're going to do afterwards. And it was kind of like they're running really fast in their careers, but they're headed towards this open door into a dark room. And that's just the best way I can describe it. So I had a perspective that he found very interesting, and we decided I needed to do something. There's a lesson in here that we all think we're normal, and I suppose to some extent we are. But Chris was seeing something where I had a level of thought and philosophy that was just a little deeper. So what else do I have here? I have my notes in front of me. So we continued to talk, and we decided that I needed to do something with my ideas, and maybe it was going to be on the speaking circuit, and I'm thinking about that. Certainly making the videos is very helpful. And so, yeah, that's where we're at. These videos that I'm making now are my first steps in getting my ideas out to people like myself that are either planning their retirement or may have just started and need a little bit of guidance through the process. Again, not from the financial perspective, but from, hey, what are the opportunities in retirement? What are maybe some things that we need to think about as far as who we are and how to get the most out of it? So I hope these videos are helpful to you. I look forward to making more. Would love to get your comments, ideas for future videos, questions, whatever. That's the most important thing to me. But of course, this whole thing runs on likes and subscriptions. So please consider that. Thank you very much. And bye for now.